Hey babes, hope everyone's week is going great. Keeping it real here at Team Babe. Uh, did September sneak up on anybody else? Because I definitely thought that today when I woke up was Tuesday. But it's actually Wednesday, so we're doing Training Tip Tuesday today anyways. All right, so let's just dive straight into it. This month, what we're exploring are some different modalities that complement swim, bike, and run. And so one of the key tenets that we program in with all of our athletes is strength training. And this may be a bit unorthodox for some people. However, both Coach Ray and I very strongly believe in the efficacy of strength training and its benefits specifically for female triathletes. And so these 5 points of why strength training is badass do apply, and I am speaking primarily to our babes. However, this is definitely applicable across all athletes. So to kick us off, strength training, first and foremost, just makes you a well-rounded athlete. Personally, I feel that even though we may be particularly drawn to swim, bike, run, or aqua bike, or the endurance sport and mix up of your choice, it's still just an important thing to bear in mind that you should be adaptable. So, if you're on vacation with your family and you decide to go for a hike, you want to have the adaptability to be able to do that, the strength to do that, the stability to do that. And we'll talk about a couple of those tenets here in point 3. But yeah, just to be both efficient in your movement, but also strong enough to do and pivot different activities. It just keeps it interesting and it makes you a more well-rounded athlete. So that's important. All right. So number 2, specifically for our babes, it is so important to strength train regularly throughout your season because it helps you retain your muscle mass. We have a number of masters athletes, so women 40, 50, even in their 60s, that are super active, and we especially place a very heavy emphasis on strength training for masters athletes because just naturally the way that your body operates is that typically in your late 30s, your body just naturally starts to pull back on the amount of muscle mass that you retain. So in order to keep your metabolism, we'll talk about that here in a second, keep your metabolism consistent, retain your muscle mass and your strength, you need to do that maintenance work to retain the muscle mass that you have built up to and through that point in your life. Okay, so number 3, I've already talked about a little bit. Strength training is just so critical when you're talking about efficiency and movement and also durability. And so efficiency, what I mean by that is if your body is not integrated, so we're talking core region here, if your top and bottom halves aren't integrated with a strong core, you're not going to be able to transfer and move forward fluidly. And then also, speaking of durability, that's the concept of being able to just withstand the force and all of these different demands that you're placing on your body over time. And so what that does is it allows you to train more consistently and efficiently, and you'll continue to see those gains versus getting injured, having to pull back, getting injured, having to pull back and recover. And so definitely bearing in mind that strength training allows you to be efficient with your movement and also helps you stay injury-free and remain durable over time. This is one in particular that I feel very strongly about because I've had to learn that the hard way. And yeah, don't make the same mistakes that I do and just take my word for it. All right, so number 4, this is something that I think is of interest to athletes too. And actually Stacy Sims did a great column about how to maintain kind of a high revved up metabolism. And one of the key factors for that is maintaining muscle mass. So if you have a substantial amount of lean muscle mass, it does help just kind of keep your metabolism revved up, because that muscle does continue to require energy and fuel throughout the day, and so it will just pull it from the stores that you've got. So that's certainly a consideration. All right, number 5, it just makes you feel like a badass. So when you're able to lift things, pull things, throw things, push things, it just does this really cool thing where it kind of releases some endorphins and it makes you feel strong. I really also love to do strength workouts with a partner. And so there's certainly a social aspect of getting together, doing some badass lifting, some heavy shit. And because you do want to lift heavy occasionally too, and I'm going to talk about that here in a second, but yeah, it just feels good to do something a little bit different and feel powerful and strong, which is truly, I think, one of the main objectives for most any woman who gets into triathlon and endurance sports. We want to feel strong along the way. All right. So those are the top 5. Makes you a well-rounded athlete. Okay. Helps you retain your muscle mass, efficiency, and durability. All right. It helps you keep your metabolism revved up. And then it also just makes you feel like a badass. So those are the top 5, but I also want to leave you with a few considerations in regards to implementing strength training in your training as an overall flow, because this is so important. So programming should not be neglected. So there should be an intention and a focus, and also very conscientious about your form and how you're executing these movements. With both Coach Ray and I, we're very focused on functional movement, making sure that we're addressing any weaknesses that athletes may have, because typically we will have one dominant side over another. So we want to balance that out. That helps kind of touching back to that durability and efficiency standpoint. We want to make sure that we're somewhat, not symmetrical, but somewhat efficient on both sides to the same degree. All right. And then so your strength training should also be periodized along with your swim, bike, and run throughout the year. So your strength training won't look the same in May as it may during your peak race week in November. There's a lot of fluctuation variables that can be manipulated to both enhance your performance in the swim, bike, and run, but also different performance gains that you see along the way in regards to different factors that are of consideration. So whether it's you're focusing on efficiency, durability, stability, or focusing more on strength development, power maneuvers, explosive plyometrics, stuff like that. So there's definitely a lot of intention that should go into your strength training programming, especially when it comes to merging them in a thoughtful manner with your swim, bike, and run, so you don't run into overtraining or into injury. So I could probably do a whole series on this, but definitely wanted to leave y'all with some considerations when it comes to what I consider one of the most important considerations for female athletes that are doing endurance sports. So if this is something you have questions on, don't hesitate to drop Coach Ray or me a note. Both of us have done this professionally. Strength training, coaching, group fitness, all of that stuff, and are very well versed in helping athletes do this sort of integration with the endurance aspects of our sport. So let's see, I think announcements. Oh, we have gotten a few questions about Team Babe merch. So shout out to a couple folks that have recently bought our Team Babe trucker hats. We still have some in stock, so let me know if you're interested. They're on the team shop. We've also got kits, some really cool different tank tops and t-shirts if you want to represent and let everybody know that you are a badass every day. So if you have questions beyond that, always don't hesitate to drop us a note. We're really stoked. We've got a lot of momentum going on through the fall. And with that, have an amazing Tuesday, Wednesday, and we'll see you next week. Take care and stay. Oh, also, last thing, today is actually Wednesday, and so that means it's the first Wednesday of the month. So we're going to start doing a Team Babe, social happy hour ride. We've already been doing this with our official babes every week, but we wanted to open up the doors and invite more people to come join the fun the first Wednesday of each month. That's at 6 Eastern, and we are doing a ride on Zwift, but we'll also have Zoom open so we can chit chat and get to know each other a little bit better. So if you're in our free community group, the invite, I posted that this morning. If you're not yet in that group, and again, this is babes only, hop on in there and we'll get you synced up. If you are coming and you're on Zwift, just be sure to shoot me a follow request on Zwift and we'll get you added to the meetup ride on Zwift. So, all right, I think that's officially it. Guys, have a great week, a great day, and stay badass. We'll see you later.